On August 14th, 2018, Valve releases the Medicless Update, an update solely devoted to removing the medic entirely from the game. The class selection screen would have 2 support classes instead of 3, the official TF2 website would have 8 classes at the top, and Meet the Medic would be taken down from YouTube entirely, almost like the medic never existed. The game would update, and that would be that. At first, people would think it's a joke and not think anything of it. They'd jump into a casual server, and since the percentage of people that play Medic in casual is exactly 0.5%, nobody would notice a difference for a short while. Slowly, however, people would see the need for a Medic in-game and go to the class selection screen only to find he is completely missing. Most people would think it was a glitch, but no amount of restarting, reinstalling, or cache verifying can fix that. It's this moment that it starts to hit home to the TF2 community. The Medic is no more. Everyone is in complete disbelief that this is for real. Forums suddenly explode with angry posts about how much they despise the update, along with the odd handful of people who are actually encouraging everyone to at least try it out, which, of course, everyone is too angry to listen to. All the YouTubers sequentially make videos about how bad of an idea this update is like dominoes, and the Medicless update becomes the new karma-whoring topic out there. Petitions for Valve to re-add the Medic will spread like wildfire, but as petitions traditionally go, they have no effect. With all the Medic videos and gameplay suddenly outdated and unwatchable, every Medic main YouTuber is now adrift in the space-time continuum, forcing them to either change their favorite class or switch to a different game. Meanwhile, every driver in the state of Colorado would have to keep their eyes on the road because Array would be throwing himself into traffic. The matches themselves would become frustrating. Without a medic to help teammates recover from damage faster, rounds become lightning quick and punishing even to the smallest mistakes. As the health resources are depleted and health kits only respawning so fast, there soon becomes a health shortage, forming a health deficit, driving weapons such as the Conjurer and the Kunai to be used more often out of desperation. It is here that the chaos begins. Snipers and spies would have no Ubers to drop. Medic girlfriends would now have to follow their boyfriends around with a jag and dispenser, setting one up whenever they go. The Soldier's Requiem would instead forever say, "Here lies the medic," and heavies would be forced to eat their own sandwiches. Palms and beams just wouldn't be the same, and the Boston Basher is used to hit other people more than just yourself, and the third degree suddenly becomes pointless. Without any form of Ubercharge, Sentry Nets would officially become nearly indestructible, making 5 CP maps go the way of 2 Fort and we turn into a battle of how many sentries and pyros you can have. Spawn camping happens almost naturally at any sort of attack defense game. Payload would become a joke, with choke points literally impassable, making it heavily in favor of the defending team. Some custom servers out there will try and revive the medic by heavily modifying a sniper or spy to go in his place, but alas, such solace is still bittersweet, as no amount of server plugins can revive the class now lying in a muddy pool of unused models, textures, sounds, and most likely urine. People's backpacks would then be suddenly filled with completely worthless medic stuff, sending the price of medic items plummeting down as traders try and sell their hats as fast as possible before everyone realizes they're worthless. There'll be a handful of people who are speculators and buy up all the items they can, expecting Valve to re-add the class, but those efforts are in vain because Valve has made their decision. Suddenly, prices for everything else plummet as traders already on the fence with staying with TF2 liquidate their backpacks to try and cash out. If it was that easy to play God and remove an entire class, people will lose faith in their backpacks holding value and therefore send everything into the dirt. People would stop buying keys to Uncrate, as there's the possibility for anything they unbox to be utterly worthless, making Valve's TF2 revenue drop significantly. The lack of profit would make maintaining servers for items, Manco stores, and actual matches a money pit, and Valve would have to lay off staff and downsize support for the game to compensate, leading to more people leaving the game, creating an endless cycle of downsizing and players abandoning. Eventually, it comes down to the point where there's one person still managing TF2, with only a handful of servers left, with a grand total of 46 total players. And finally, that last person is relocated to a different staff, and with no one to maintain and manage it, they decide to pull the plug on Team Fortress 2. But not before they attempt to turn the game over to the community. Since Valve could no longer support servers, they would turn to things like Firepowered or Skyle to keep their game running for the 50 cents a day revenue they receive. And thus, casual becomes completely barren, competitive is even more deserted, and the only method of play is community servers. However, with no revenue from Valve supporting the Manco store or market transactions for the game, these community servers will turn to more drastic measures to stay afloat. Ads will force everyone to stop playing at once and watch a 4-minute slew of commercials. Donator perks will get more and more ridiculous until they can quite literally purchase God mode. Soon enough, there will be so many of these donator perks on these community servers, the game loses all of its playability, to the point, in fact, that anyone just starting playing the game will think that the game was just packaged with unlimited Dead Ringer spies and bottomless clip scouts. And the call for medic button itself is just a joke at this point, like a verbal bind spam. Most people at this point will have completely forgotten the amount of irritation it caused. As time progresses, without developer support, game-breaking weapons or bugs will go completely unattended to, forcing these servers to modify them personally. VAC will also be ignored in these servers, granting anyone who is playing a free ride to cheat anywhere they can and not worried about being banned by VAC or even the server's admins who already have their hands full. The donator perks, however, will continue to adapt in this abundance of hackers, offering headshot or crit immunity under certain circumstances. And soon, the cheaters will stop playing TF2 to hack another game, further diminishing the game's player base. And the medic at this point is ancient history, just a myth from long ago that only the oldest TF2 players will remember, kind of like every pop star from the 1980s. They will regale stories of the medic uber pushes and dramatic crossbow shots to the newer players of TF2, who will just have a hard time believing the medic even existed in the first place, and this down on his luck heavy isn't just full of shit. They'll have legends of Nursey and Rogue, some of the greats from a time long ago, about how they conquered the Badlands with their all-powerful metagun and toppled impenetrable defenses with their mighty ubercharge. Of course, they'll gloss over the fact that the medic was literally every other class's punching bag, but the stories themselves would bring awe to all the newest players. At long last, after months of decreasing player base, there comes the last two TF2 players on Earth. Two lonely scouts battling it out, their faces completely covered by the massive amount of ridiculous effects and cosmetics they're wearing. One scout random crit kills the other, who becomes furious and angrily disconnects from the server. And so, the very last TF2 player stands alone in an empty server. No one to kill, no objective to complete, and no more people to taunt after killing. After one last bind spam, he disconnects. And with that, all TF2 servers are officially deserted. Capture points remain blank, payload carts sit still, and hills are left uncontrolled. With no more bloodshed, bullet casings, and explosive craters, vegetation begins to retake the land. The dried, chalk-like dust of Upward slowly grows trees and grass. Without anyone to maintain them, Powerhouse and Hydro begin to fail, causing game-wide blackouts. Trainsaw Laser runs out of power and sputters to an uncomfortable quiet, and at long last, the wheels of Two Fort stop turning. With the power gone from the Dust Bowl, the atomic reactor and nucleus goes critical, causing a catastrophic meltdown. Nuclear material spills out onto hundreds of experimental machines, making them all malfunction. After an old tape recorder smashes into a pinup calendar, both are absorbed by the toxic waste, and all of reality reverses in time for some reason, all the way back to October 10th, 2007, where the release of TF2 causes the same cycle of events to repeat in a never-ending loop.
I'm the invincible, undefeated champion, Mount Zion's.
On August 14th, 2018, Valve releases the Medicless Update, an update solely devoted to removing the medic entirely from the game.
Well, it happened again, didn't it? Time reverse. No, I can't do this again. No, I can't do this again. I can't take this shit anymore. Where is it? There it is. There it is. Oh, just. You guys happy now? Look what you made me do. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding Smuckers. Smucker's low sugar, in fact, because ketchup's too salty.